Originally, the need to ship high-value and perishable items quickly was at the forefront of express delivery. However, the speed of business and the need to compete on time to market has evolved over the years and has thus required the need for more expedited delivery of both parcels and documents. The U.S. Postal Service held a monopoly on first-class letters and was legally unable to offer volume discounts to business customers. It was not able to track parcels efficiently and had a poor on-time rating. Other competitors focused on international deliveries and specialized in knowing business practices and customs policies. Changing environments with electronic mail and fixed facsimile also affected competition for express mail. Smaller competitors were forced to use traditional airlines and hubs for express delivery and had a hard time competing with companies such as Airborne, who had its own resources.
In contrast to its larger rivals, Airborne targets particular business customers. For instance, Airborne does not serve residential deliveries, infrequent shippers, or catalog companies with heavy seasonal requirements. Instead, Airborne focuses on large companies with daily shipping such as Xerox and IBM. Airborne also uniquely owns and operates their own airport site, where it offers warehouse space to business customers. This in turn allows the retailers to offer same-day shipping for orders that come in as late as 2 a.m. Patented cargo containers allow Airborne to load aircraft more efficiently and to run them roughly 80% full compared to the 65 to 70% efficiency of competitors. By focusing its efforts on urban centers, Airborne can also rely on trucks more than competitors, allowing it to spend 1/3 of the cost for delivery. Airborne also uses independent contractors as drivers, which is 10% less expensive than using company-owned resources for pickup and delivery of packages. Their couriers are in turn more efficient than those of rival companies. Airborne invested frugally in advertisement and technology. By allowing its rivals to, quote, test merchandise and foregoing mass advertising, Airborne saves in areas that it cannot directly compete. Airborne selectively invests in strategies that target large business customers, creating a unique and defensible niche for itself.
It is cheaper to use Airborne for mail delivery service, whether it's overnight morning, overnight afternoon, or even second-day delivery. This is made possible by the autonomy that Airborne gives to its salespeople to set prices for corporate clients. However, prices did start to compete as the weight of packages increased. For a 50-pound second-day delivery, FedEx is actually cheaper than Airborne. This is due to Airborne focusing on major metropolitan areas, and letters or packages that are not due for same or next-day delivery are sure to be a truck to urban areas, which is not cost-effective for Airborne. FedEx's expenses for an overnight morning letter is $13.86 compared to Airborne's $10.95. The difference in cost comes from FedEx having to pay long-haul transport expenses, which include the airport labor, flight expenses, and trucking expenses from the airport. This in and of itself totals $2.99 for each letter. This is a cost Airborne is able to avoid due to owning their own airport and using independent carriers to deliver their mail once it's in their stock warehouse.
The numbers appear to support Airborne continuing as it always has, straight-laced, frugal, and very conservative. It is tempting for Airborne to move into a space where there is a duopoly, FedEx and UPS, by expanding its ground, air, and international game. But the truth is that Airborne has excelled in part because it is small and selective with its customers, a much different strategy than UPS and FedEx. It doesn't take on just anyone and has a focused sales force that hunts down the deals it wants, even enlisting C-level executives to land the big deals. There is a concern for Airborne that that its small company advantages today could be mirrored by FedEx and UPS in the future, as was seen by 8 a.m. next day delivery. There shouldn't be a reason why it can't continue to innovate for its top customers. As we learned in the text, Airborne positions itself as the flexible solution-oriented express carrier with an ability to tailor its services to the needs of particular large business customers. If they can continue to do this, it will be hard to remove them from the market. Another strategy that Mr. Bergier needs to be exploring is a possible acquisition of Airborne by either UPS or FedEx, pitching the two of them against each other to raise the bidding war.
Being smashed between two 900-pound gorillas can be intimidating. However, Airborne has managed to survive and thrive by doing business their way. As Ray Berry, the Vice President of Field Services Administration, said, "Since we can't be all things to all people, we pick our kind of customer deliberately." This is how they have avoided being smothered by FedEx and UPS. Instead of trying to compete, they have found their niche niche they mastered. As mentioned above, Airborne has done a lot of things differently. Focusing on large business customers like IBM, Nike, and Xerox, they were able to zero in on how to serve these companies well and master their customer service. Customizing barcodes and promising next day 8 a.m. delivery was just a few of the ways they were able to compete with their rivals. In addition, owning their own airport was a brilliant decision as it reduced costs by having zero landing fees and allowing computer retailers to store goods in their stock exchange warehouses. These decisions, among many more mentioned above, are the reasons Airborne is still breathing between the 900-pound gorillas. Moreover, these gorillas have chosen not to replicate it because they can't. The services they provide are not conducive to the operations of Airborne. Airborne is too unique, too specific, and too narrow of a market. While UPS and FedEx could replicate some of their brilliance, why would they change their strategies and operations when they are succeeding?